Hi Facebook Live. We are just driving back from Gainesville. We were visiting our aunt and uncle up there on the lake. It's really pretty. And now we're heading back to the St. Pete area, but first we're going to drop by Tampa and visit my abuela and grandpa, and then we're going to go to Dunedin for tea with our new friend, musicianary. So yeah, it's a really good day, exciting day. It doesn't let me show who's on, so hello if you're watching right now. I am talking about today the difference between pride and confidence. So I'm coming kind of from a Christian background, a Christian perspective, and I'm still a Christian, but I see a lot of kind of not great stuff in the Christian culture. So if you're not a Christian and you're watching this, please don't make assumptions about me based on sort of things that you didn't love about other Christians that you've seen potentially bad experiences. God is loving and gentle and kind and joyful and wild and expressive and like all these things that you don't really hear talked about in a lot of Christian cultures. But anyway, I'm here to talk about how to shine and vanity versus a healthy confidence, a healthy self-image. So basically, a lot of times, and again, I'm kind of coming from a Christian context, but we don't want to be perceived as arrogant or prideful or overconfident or full of ourselves. And so the baby kind of gets thrown out with the bathwater, and we're not able to kind of own our own strength, our own power, our own authority, our own fabulousness, or our own the glory of who we are and our identity. And so we kind of go the opposite extreme, and we kind of become these sheepish, hidden worm-like people who are like, oh, I'm humble, I don't want to be seen, and really that's not healthy, and it leads to anxiety and depression and other self-esteem issues. And I think that it's okay to walk in who we are, to own our good qualities and to realize that they are expressions of God, and they are reflections of His goodness, His glory, His strength, His bravery. And so for us to not shine and for us to not be who we are is to limit the expression of God, is to suppress or to cover up His artwork. So we are living art pieces, and to cover ourselves with a dark cloak is to do a disservice to the artist. See, true humility is being willing to be seen. It's being willing, because see, we're afraid of being embarrassed. We're afraid of shame. We're afraid of being seen and not being loved for who we are. We're afraid of being known and that not being good enough, being criticized for something that we express. And so we don't hide our feelings. If we feel like crying, if we feel upset, if we need to talk about something or express something, we oftentimes limit, suppress, and stifle ourselves and our trueness. And so I've become very interested lately in realism, and that could be not wearing makeup one day and being cool with it, or that could be saying, like I did at my aunt and uncle's this past weekend, hey Derek. It could be saying, guys, like, I don't watch violence, I don't watch scary stuff, I don't watch like raunchy comedy sex stuff, like I don't like, and it's not like holier than thou or judging people, it's just like I don't like how that affects me. I don't like how that makes me feel. Like, I was watching Fried Green Tomatoes, and it was supposed to be just this charming little Southern film. I was walking out of the room about 7 times with the lady, the man beating his wife, and she was pregnant, and like the racism and shit, and the Ku Klux Klan. I was like, no, like, not going for it. So that's just me, and that's my point, is own who you are. You don't need to make excuses. You don't need to go, yeah, I'm just really sensitive, or there's nothing wrong with you. You're you. You're awesome. So just own it, rock it out. Your true friends will get you, and just shine. And that's not pride. See, you shining and you being yourself and you walking in your confidence is actually so selfless because it's good for other people to see people that are alive and free and healthy and vibrant and full of the most vivid colors. That's going to bring health and happiness and joy and freedom and release to other people. So you're actually doing a really loving act. See, self-love isn't selfishness, it's love. And just like we are to love other people, rock on, but like we're a person too. I need to receive love, you need love. So like loving yourself and having a relationship with yourself where you're like, oh, you're so sweet, and you just take care of yourself. And that I'm touching my face, that's kind of interesting because my soul needs love. My mind also needs love. I need to be listening to TED Talks, reading my Bible, having invigorating, stimulating conversations with people. Like, that's me though. So I don't know what you personally need, but my mind needs nurturing, my soul needs nurturing, soul and spirit need nurturing, and then my body needs nurturing. And that could be something like, again, I can only talk for myself, getting out in nature, a nice hot bath, walking outside, walking by water. Maybe you love the beach or a lake, or you feel that soothing water element. Maybe you're into the spa pampering stuff. I have a friend, I don't know if Sam, if you're watching this, but she's into the Korean beauty and the spa treatments, and even something like painting your nails or just gently rubbing on your body butter or your body lotion after you have a nice bath or a shower, touching your own body and caring for your face gently, or caring for your skin or something like that. Like, there's so many practices of self-love. Of course, they go beyond just the physical, but I think that the body is important as well. And sometimes, often in Christian cultures, we neglect the physical body, which is important to Christ. We talk about the body of Christ. We talk about how God incarnation was God himself coming into the flesh, coming into a body of physicality, and the church is referred to as the body of Christ. When we have communion, we are the bread is representative of Christ's body. The juice or the wine, depending on your denomination, is representative of his blood. So caring for ourselves can be the most loving thing we can do. And here's another point. We don't have to choose between loving others and loving ourselves. Whoa, that's a mind bomb, right? So because when I love myself, that love and that care and that joy and that happiness that I now have, that new revitalized energy, is what's going to spill out into the lives of other people, into the lives of those around me. So I'm loving myself, I'm loving others. So as the Bible verse says, love one another as you love yourself. So we're both being loved. And in a Christian context, you could go further to say that I don't have to choose between the love of God, the love of myself, or the love of others, that it's actually this intertwined, holistic practice that was meant to be in unity, a three-strand cord, not easily broken. So I'm receiving the love of God. That's good for my soul. The love of God is pouring out into the lives of other people. And they're receiving the love of God through me, which I've already received. And all of that's going back to loving on God, because God's receiving pleasure from his little children being loved and happy and joyful and taken care of. And God is getting the glory from that, and God is receiving everything from that. So it's the cycle of love. So I think that in some of these Christian cultures, we think like, I've got to like be less than, I've got to da-da-da. Me being less than isn't going to do anything for you. It's just going to show you another person with cramped up style that isn't living in their fullness, their power, the authority, and those aren't the people that are going to be world changers, game changers, shaker-uppers, right? We want to do something in this world. We have an impact in this world, and we can't do that with our heads hidden and cowering low and suffering and all that crap. Like, we can be glorious and shine. We can be salt and light. We can be sitting on a hill. We can be a lantern and a lighthouse to those around us that are living in darkness. And I don't mean living in darkness in a judgmental way. I just mean there are people in church living in darkness, like the darkness of ignorance, the darkness of not understanding who you are and whose you are, the darkness of hopelessness and depression and anxiety and addiction, all of that darkness. And so we need to embrace the light, and in that way we can have hope, and we can know, ultimately Jesus Christ and the goodness and love of God. But even apart from that, to a secular audience, I think that there's good in a healthy confidence. Thank you. I recommend the Tony Robbins documentary. It's really interesting. I just watched the other day, and that changed my life in a way. And it's called Not Your Guru. It's Tony Robbins, and he does a lot of things in terms of empowerment for people to not be afraid and not be living in fear and anxiety. And like, if you're walking down the street, you can say hello to someone and you don't really give a darn whether they respond or not, because it's not about, you can be secure, and you can not be shaken, and you can not be so affected by the responses of other people, because you know who you are, you love who you are, and there's a steadfastness and a faith in that. So anyway, I'm just encouraging you guys to shine. This is the best season, in my opinion, to shine, because it's Jesus' birthday, and we're coming into the new year, which is super generative in terms of motivation and goals, and just like, guys, it's a new year. It's 2017. Let's go for it. Let's leave 2016 behind, and let's rock on, and let's be our best selves. Let's not become better people. We can't become better people. We are who we are. We're not going to evolve into some, because we're great as we are. But we need to own our own aspects, the qualities, the characteristics, the personality traits, the quirks that we have. We need to own those, enjoy those, appreciate those, and begin to share them with the world and those around us. And not everybody's going to get it. Not everyone's going to appreciate it. That's their loss, and that's on them. And don't throw your pearls before swine, Throw out your line and fish in that lake, but if you ain't catching fish, move along. There's better lakes. There's greener pastures. Like, don't waste your life, Be with people that celebrate you. Not just people that tolerate you, not even just people that accept you, but spend your life among people that live in a joyful celebration of who you are. Because in turn, see, it's not just one-sided. You're celebrating them. You want to be with people that you can love on and celebrate. And sometimes that doesn't have to do with their good works. That doesn't have to do with how much they've accomplished in the world or what kind of title or role they play. I don't really care about that. I care about the hearts of people, and I care about the souls of people. Now again, I'm just talking about me. You may be different, but I care about the soul of a person, because we're human beings, we're not human doings. And it really is about your who, not your do. So it's really important to slice off the who from the do. In other words, don't judge people based on their behaviors. Like, you can often misperceive, misjudge, and misunderstand something about them. I am not what I've done. I am me. I am my own identity. I'm not the color of my skin. I'm not black or white or Indian or any other races or colors. I'm Kendall Hoeft. I'm who I am. And I don't even associate with a certain racial group. So just be who you are and rock on and shine. And I just encourage you guys. And I wish you a Merry Christmas. Bye.